All right, everybody, what's up? I'm Fu.
I'm JTJ.
And I'm Main One, and we are Unplugged for the Evening, a show where we discuss an array of topics, current events, and world news from an unfiltered, unbiased, and unplugged point of view. Hey y'all, how
Yeah.
y'all doing?
I am good. I'm gonna let the lady go first. How you doing? How you doing, Lady J?
Listen, I'm doing good. I'm super excited. I'm pretty sure y'all seen my little plug earlier via Instagram and Twitter. I've been so excited about this live stream and podcast, man. This is gonna be epic. So
Yeah,
I'm doing
I saw it, and I called to congratulate you on getting your chops up because you really don't go live like that. Food probably go
no.
live more than everybody in the whole world, probably.
Yes.
I'm getting a little better, but he's the man on it. So yeah, man, I'm excited, man. You guys just don't know how long this has been in the works, and it's going to be a great show. I hope you guys enjoy the show. So what y'all did this weekend? What's going on? Anything interesting happened this weekend, Jay?
Not for me. Like I said, I was just sitting back, really preparing for the podcast, getting my mind together and reading over some stuff. I had a nice little adventure. Saturday, I decided to drive up to Armonk, New York, and run some errands. And that's when I really got my bearings together and said, hey, I'm going to go live. So Saturday was actually the first day that I did. So, yeah, that was it. I relaxed all weekend, man. It was good for me, nothing really new. It was real laid back. What about you, Jermaine?
Um, Pretty much. Justin basketball season is starting to roll in, so been running him back and forth to basketball practice. Been under the weather a little bit. Had a little head cold for the last couple of days, so I've been, medicating myself. Getting myself, get my strength back up, and get
Yeah.
snotty nose and stuff like that, man. So I kind of prepared for the show a little bit. Wrote down some notes. And just a real relaxing. It was raining this weekend a lot, so laid in a bed, just relax, man. That's what I pretty much do on my weekends. What about
Okay.
you, Fool?
Well, I was slanging all weekend, and
Uh-uh.
whenever I say that, I always got to preface and to let people know it has nothing to do with sex. So when I say I'm slanging, that means I'm out here slanging people's groceries because I do Instacart. Like, and I,
Gotcha.
and I thoroughly enjoy it because at one point I was doing Uber and Lyft, and the thing about doing Uber and Lyft is it's a lot of downtime. You're sitting in the car, you're not moving. There's no flexing, like your hips get tight, all of that. But with Instacart, you're constantly moving, and I'm helping people get food. So I thoroughly enjoy it. To me, it's exercise. It's actually therapeutic. And like I said, I'm slanging people groceries. I'm on the move. I'm hustling. I'm moving, this, that, whatever. So it's cool. And I don't have any Al Bundy stories with me slanging this weekend, which is good. No, so with no problems or anything like that. I'm just out there doing my thing and honestly and truly enjoying life. That for me matters most. And that's what I want for everybody.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Just to give everybody just a little quick backstory on all of us. I've been knowing Fu for about 4 years. Seems like I've known him forever. I've been knowing Jay for about 20 years, and me and her actually talked about doing a podcast last year sometime, and we never, schedules never, matched up. We never. Pretty much we bull crapped on it. I no excuse. We bull crapped on it, and
Yeah.
so Fu, we talked about it, and then he was like, well, we need somebody, we need a female, we need some a female presence that's pretty, that can speak really well. And I say, hey, I got the perfect person. So I mentioned Jay, I linked them up, they clicked, and here we are, unplugged for the evening, guys. So I think we should just get the show started with our first segment. We got, it's called Ear to the Streets. Ear to the Streets is basically we're going to talk about current events, things
Right.
that's happening, things that we see happening that we may want to touch on that everybody else is talking about. So I'll start with with one of the current events that everybody's talking about is the insurrection, the diet coup. I would say I call it the diet coup because it wasn't a real coup. They didn't take over nothing. They occupied a space, but they did. You want to talk about a real coup? Watch The Dark Knight Rises. Now that was a real coup. With Bane took over Gotham City, that was a real coup. That what they just did, I don't know what it was. It was all theater to me. And then you got the impeachment. We got that in the news. They trying to get 45 up out of here 9 days until Biden's supposed to get sworn in. And then they banned him off of Twitter. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. But I just touch on the Twitter part because I feel like this area that we have open, this space that we have is supposed to be free. It's freedom of speech. And I feel like and this is me not defending Trump or not defending 45, excuse me. But I will defend our freedom of speech, but because you can't have freedom of speech without freedom of truth. And if we're not allowed to tell our truths or any truths that goes against the norm, goes against what the status quo, if we can't do that, then it's really not freedom. It's freedom in constraints, which means that's liberty. That's the difference between freedom and liberty. So we can't allow them to keep infringing on our civil liberties, and that's how I feel about the Twitter thing. Why ban him now? He's been saying stupid stuff for the last 4 years, so why now?
I've been trying to figure that out for a while. Like this is not the first time 45 has acted up, told lies. It's not the first time. I don't get it. So I feel like I guess it had to take something like this tragedy in order for them to really see him for really what he is. He literally on the night of the election came out and said that he won. Did y'all see that? And it was like, okay, so he can do that though, because that was an absolute lie. It just was. And you're right. Like, why now? But I kind of understand, why Twitter and Facebook ultimately decided to go ahead and do this. It really was because of the fact that, he incited what happened. So he may not have done it, but he definitely incited. He pretty much gave them, he opened the door for it to happen. He gave them the idea, told them what was going down on that day, and people just took it and literally ran with it. And it took a tragedy for them to be like, you know what, shutting him down. A little bit too little and too late, if you ask me. That's just my opinion, though.
But where do we have so now we have a conundrum now, because where do you hold people's accountability to? Because at some point you got to be accountable to your own actions. I mean, he can say what he want to say. I mean, actually, if you want to be honest, he said that he said, "I'll see you guys on January 6th." He said that on the 30th. So you telling me all those days they didn't prepare for what was coming? You telling me? From the videos I saw, they were letting people in. I mean, that's what I was seeing. I was seeing they were letting people in and all kind of stuff. So so we didn't have the presence of mind to have any kind of type of security guarding the one of the most secure places in DC,
in the US, period. The most secure place. Like you and I spoke on this the other day. I specifically remember when I visited DC some years ago, we had a conference and I was at the Gaylord Hotel, and all of us decided to take a Uber and go down and see the Capitol. They start watching you within a certain vicinity of the Capitol, needless to say, the White House. And when I say watching you, I mean, you're on closed circuit video somewhere. Please know that you're being watched. I just cannot wrap my mind around how they got as far as they did without someone actually, pretty much helping them out. Like somebody dropped the ball. That's what I'm
left the gates open. Who in the hell left the gates
open?
Who
in the hell left the gates open? That's perfect.
Ain't nobody dropped the ball. They passed the ball because once again, they had it was like insider trading pretty much. And I didn't keep up on it. I haven't seen a lot of the clips like a lot of people, anything like that. But what I did see recently was that one of the, I guess, security guards or whatever at the Capitol killed himself. Now, if that's the case, this is just my theory. He didn't kill himself for post-traumatic syndrome, whatever it all that. He killed himself because he had something to do with it, and he don't want to be held accountable. He's like, you know what? This is gonna be bad. So he wanted to make sure he took himself out so he ain't got to deal with it. And something that a big brother of mine pretty much told me the other day about social media. We live in a country where we're supposed to have freedom of speech, and we understand when they talk about free, it ain't free. We get that part. But when you're talking about Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, whatever media platform it is, they can do whatever the hell they want. If they want to shut you down, they can shut you down. So it's something that we got to deal with. But the sad part about it is the ramifications of it, because they don't give you any warning. They want to shut you down. Guess what? You're done. They won't tell you why. You got to deal with it. You can appeal all you want, and it don't matter. And Jermaine said something to me earlier about them censoring Farrakhan. Okay, they censored Farrakhan. Now they censor the president. And what sounds eerily similar, I could be wrong. For anybody out there that's watching, you let us know. How many days was it before Comey did that thing on Hillary Clinton 4 years ago? Wasn't it about 9 days before the election? Or something like that? No, excuse me, it was right before the election. My bad. It wasn't after. It was right before the election. So now it's 9 days or whatever, right before the inauguration. They do something like this. But once again, when you are the camera person, when you're the person pulling the strings, guess what? You could do whatever the hell you want. And that's exactly what they're doing. So for me, it's messed up. But hell, I done been in Facebook jail, Facebook probation, house arrest, whatever you want to call it. And it's a normal occurrence for me. But when people want to shut down the truth, that's where things become a problem, in my personal opinion.
And for me, all the backlash that a lot of black folk were saying, well, if that was black folk, it would have been a whole bunch of people killed. Well, duh, that's redundant. We don't need to say that. We know what it is. But the same backlash and outrage that you have for what you saw that happened on Wednesday should be the same outrage you have for the insurrection that's been going on in Afghanistan and Iraq for almost 20 years. We've been doing this to those black and brown people over there for almost 20 years. Where's the outrage? Where's the so-called outrage for that? Yemen, genocide in Yemen. We turned Libya into a slave state, open slave market. Where's the outrage for that? So we can't be picky and choosy what we want to be outraged about. And this may not be a popular opinion to a lot of so-called patriots and everybody else, but I don't care. I'm gonna speak the truth. So if you're gonna be outraged about them being the insurrection on the Capitol, be outraged about the insurrection that's been going on for an illegal war in Afghanistan for almost 20 years.
Well, the other thing with what's going on, the way that they've done it and everything like that, for me, is what y'all mad about, especially for the people that stormed the Capitol. What exactly did 45 do for you that makes you want to act the way that you act? Because I don't know about anybody out there right now, but for me, if a person is a racist, I want to know they're a racist.
Right.
45 has been 45 in my 44 years of existence. Since I've known about him, he's been the same exact way. He puts it out there. I'm cool with that. I don't want the blanket ones. So the fact that he says what he wants to say and all that shit, I don't have a problem with that, because at least I know where he stands. What I don't like is for the motherfucker that's patting you on the back like this, and they got the knife behind their back.
Right, exactly.
As soon as you turn your back. So I'm good with that. But like I said, I'm not a 45 supporter, and this has nothing to do with politics. My issue with him has always been and always will be his stance with the Central Park Five. To me, he's a piece of shit for what he said.
Yeah.
He's never taken it back, and if he did take it back, I know he'd be lying because he meant exactly what he said because he's never apologized. And for me, growing up in Newark, New Jersey, what if I was with my friends in New York that night? What if I could be in the Central Park Five? So I can't rock with him like that based on that. So however you feel about him, it is what it is. To me, it ain't getting off my ass because it ain't gonna hurt my life.
Right.
You're right.
Jay, you want to touch on it one last time before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't want to give 45 any more attention than he's already gotten. I'm over him. It's new. Right. We have a new, president in office. That's a conversation for a different day. I'm not saying that, he's going to be, the best choice or the better choice, but I'm saying this: we no longer have 45. We can move on.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch on that on a future episode.
Oh yeah.
So right now we're gonna do a little Black empowerment. We got a company that Fuquan's been working with for a while. I don't know exactly how long, but he's been a big supporter of them. They're based out of Atlanta, and I'll let Fuquan tell you guys some more about this business.
All right, for everybody out there, for me, I'm all about supporting Black businesses, straight up. And I was able to meet this young man a few years back, and he makes soap. Now, mind you, this is the only soap I use. I don't use any other soap at all. Matter of fact, this is the one right here that I use all the time. This is the charcoal, and I got a few other ones I'm gonna show y'all in a second. But what I want right now is for the owner, Quentin, to come on, and he's gonna go ahead and plug his business. I don't want to take any of his shine away, and I'm gonna go ahead and let him give you all the details about his business and pretty much why you should support. What's up, Quentin? Are you there?
He muted.
All right. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up, young man?
Doing all right. How about y'all?
Doing good, man.
Doing real good. The floor is let everybody know about all of your products, especially the soap.
Well, yeah. First of all, I just want to thank y'all for allowing me on the show. I'm on the way home right now. I'm like 5 minutes from my house. So I just want to be in a better lighting, but I'm here right now. So my name is Quentin Lewis. My wife, her name is Taryn Lewis. We're the co-owners of Urban Eden, and it's spelled like herb, like HERB, apostrophe N, like a little play on words, urban, and then Eden, like the Garden of Eden, EDEN. And Urban Eden, we started in 2016. Officially started in 2016. My wife, she was trying to find a skill, and she came across soap making in a craft book, and she just started like dabbling into like the melt and pour. And I looked at it and I was just like, you got to learn how to make that from scratch. So she learned how to make it from scratch. And I had a background in internet marketing, and just studying how to use the internet, you know what I'm saying, to grow your business and things like that. So we kind of combined our skills together, grew this company. We started off in the house, in the garage, and then moved into a little bigger space where we kind of had like a whole room dedicated to it. And then a few years later, we ended up getting a brick and mortar in Douglasville. We had it where we had our production in the store, and then we had like a store, a little small retail store in the front. And due to COVID last year, we grew exponentially. We grew like leaps and bounds to the point where we had to move our production out of the retail store, and we had to get production had to get its own warehouse. So we have a warehouse now where we produce the products, where we fulfill all of the products, and yeah, that's and all of this is in Douglasville. I don't know if you guys are in Douglasville. I know Jerome is in Douglasville. You in Douglasville still, Jerome?
Of course, I ain't going nowhere.
Okay. No, I thought you moved for some reason. But yeah, and definitely Jerome's been supporting us for quite some time. Even before we had the retail store, I remember he pulled up in my house in Riverdale when we was producing out of the house, and he pulled up there, and that's kind of I think when he first got the soap, and that was like 2018. So we have grown a lot. Man, our team now is like probably like 30 employees now, and pre-COVID we was at like 3. So we grew a lot just due to COVID and due to the protests last year, and things like that. So definitely check us out, urbaneating.com. You can honestly just Google the name Urban Eating. You can just Google it. It'll give you all our social media pages and website and all of that type of stuff. And
I got one question for you, Quentin. Before you go, I got one question for you. You made a post a few years ago when you made the comparison between Dove and soap. So my question to you is, for anybody out there who go to the supermarket and they buy soap or whatever the case may be, why should somebody choose Urban Eating, the soap and whatever other products you have, over the stuff in the stores?
That's a good question. I like to compare it to, I don't know if any of you have had like have grew tomatoes before. And if you ever had a tomato that you grew in your backyard versus the tomato from the store, then you know the difference of that. So like the difference between our soap is we make our stuff from scratch. We make all of our products in-house. Our bar soap is like our main product. It's like our hamburger, you know what I'm saying? And everything else is like the fries and the drink or whatnot. Our soap is made from vegetable oils, coconut oil, palm oil, and shea butter. We use as the base. And soap is a byproduct of oils and lye being mixed together, and you have soap. That is how you make soap, you know. And we let it go through a curing process. And we only use essential oils in our soap. We only use herbal additives to the soap. And like in comparison to a commercial bar, commercial bars do not use any of that type of stuff. Commercial bars use a lot of cheap fillers to make the product very cheap. They use a lot of synthetic chemicals in it as well. They also take the glycerin out of the soap and sell it back to you in the form of like a moisturizer or whatnot. Glycerin is what makes soap moisturizing. Glycerin is what it attracts moisture from the air, and that's what kind of like makes it like moisturizing. Because glycerin is a byproduct of actually soap as well. When you make handmade soap, glycerin is just a part of the soap. Commercial soap, they take that out of the soap. So that is the reason why when you use a commercial soap, you feel dry and you feel stripped, because they take that part of it out of it. When you're using our soap, we're not doing that. You know, we're using the natural ingredients. Look at our label and literally recognize every single thing on that label. And Jerome probably looking at the label right now, like I can tell you, like if he listed everything on there, the only one that you probably will stumble upon is sodium hydroxide, and sodium hydroxide is lye. And you cannot make soap without lye, because soap is oils and sodium hydroxide mixed, and the byproduct is soap. That's the difference.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead. I know you almost home, and I bought 5 of them today. This is my favorite, y'all. This is the charcoal, and I'm gonna let Quentin go ahead and give y'all a little description about all the other ones. Quentin, this is the lemongrass and patchouli.
Yeah, that's a very popular one. You know, our top products are the lemongrass and patchouli, like he's holding up. And like I said, we only use essential oils. A lot of people, they get confused with fragrance oils versus essential oils. Essential oils come straight from the plant, like lavender, tea tree, peppermint. And people, you have smelled these things. Fragrance oil are things like cotton candy scent, or like Mango Island scent, and all that type of things that you might smell that's like maybe in the Bath and Body Works. Essential oils are like the cream of the crop. Like these come from the essence of the plant. You know what I'm saying? So you're not only getting cleansed, but you're getting moisturized, and then you're also getting aromatherapy from the essential oil. So
Quentin, this is the rose water.
Oh yeah, the rose water kefir. That's one of the ones that the ladies love, that one. Even though I like to use it too, though. You know, don't like the thing about our soaps. People like, you know, which one's for the men, which one's for the women. You can literally use all of them. Like men and women can use all of them. There are ones that the guys like to cater to a little bit, like and attract to, like the activated charcoal that he picked up. A lot of the guys love that one. The women love to use the activated charcoal on their face to take the makeup off their face. You know,
yeah.
That's a real good one. Our tea tree and turmeric soap is the top seller though. That one is the one that's gonna be good for your eczema, good for the acne, good for the face, full body. We also have unscented ones as well. People don't like to use scent because some people have like sensitive skin. So we try to cover all the bases for people because a lot of people have sensitive skin. They got eczema, they have acne, they have psoriasis. Some people have just normal skin. So we try to cover all the bases, and we make it, made by us. It's for us. Not saying that other people can't use it. You know what I'm saying? But that's who was in our mind when we was making these products.
Okay. I got two more real quick. Then I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, Quentin. This is the hemp right here, the 420.
Oh yeah, that's another bomb. I love it. And also you can use these bars in your hair. So you could definitely use these bars in your hair. I would love to Jerome, I definitely want to get you for your show because I know this is the first episode, right?
Yeah, right.
So what I want to do is I want to definitely get you guys a code specifically for your show, so that everybody that buys the soap, they can use the special code for your show, and that's revenue for the show, things like that. So I really appreciate you guys for letting me get on here. I know you got another show to show.
Yeah, appreciate it. Chamomile.
That's chamomile calendula. That's one of the ones we call that like our baby soap. So babies could even use that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh wow!
It's for sensitive skin. It's for sensitive skin. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to use any scent, that's a good one. Chamomile is a very gentle herb. Calendula is also another gentle one as well. So again, you got your mints, we got your citruses, we got your unscented, we got your lavender scents. We have 15 different varieties of bars, and we have body butters, body oil, deodorant, and facial products and things like that. Check us out on the website, and I appreciate y'all for really letting me explain the company and everything.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it, and I'll make sure we post it on the page. You feel free to post whatever you want on the page. Have a good night, and tell the wife I said hi.
Absolutely, and let's connect. Let's connect after this, so I want to get you guys a code for your show.
No problem, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, bro.
Thanks.
Hey, y'all on Facebook right now?
Facebook, yep.
Okay, cool. Let me go sit in the audience. I'm gonna go sit in the audience and listen in.
All right, Ray, because the special guest coming up next.
Absolutely.
All right. Peace.
Yeah, that was dope, man. We definitely want to showcase, businesses, entrepreneurs. We're all about, empowerment, empowering, everybody. So, that was definitely a good plug, a good look, with the soaps. I've actually ordered some from them before. I like the liquid kind. I ain't with all them bars. You end up leaving all these bars in the shower and all this kind. You got pieces of bars and stuff like that. So I like the liquid. But anyway, we're gonna transition to our last current event topic. Miss J has a topic she wanna talk about. So we're gonna turn it over to her and let her get her current event in.
Yeah, so my current event is going to be pretty much the topic of that we're going to have today, health and nutrition. So a couple of weeks ago, I was reading in the New York Times that it was a specific article, and it was the U.S. diet guidelines sidestep scientific advice to cut sugar and alcohol. And so the new nutritional recommendation that amid this pandemic pretty much has taken a toll on everybody's health. And pretty much what the article talks about is the fact that what they've seen during COVID-19 is there's been an uptick of, people eating more sugars and drinking more. And the article goes over how the committee that's set to make these guidelines, these standards for Americans, pretty much didn't mention anything about it at all. Like they actually kept it exactly the way it was. And some science has shown, a link between, having certain ailments like, diabetes and this, that, and the third associated with how we're consuming more processed foods and more sugar. So I read the article, and the three of us was chopping it up a couple of weeks ago, and that's when I first thought of it. And Fu, you actually told me, you was like, you know what, you should watch What the Health, right? So I went on to Amazon. I want everybody to watch this. If you have Amazon, Prime. You can watch it for free. It's called What the Health. It's by this guy named Kip Anderson. He's a filmmaker. And essentially, it's a documentary that talks about the health of Americans and, you know, all of the ailments that we have. And this is going to be controversial, right? They're trying to say that processed meats and fish, eggs, let me say this, processed foods, along with meat, red meats, poultry, fish, and dairy, how it's negatively impacting us and causing all these different ailments like diabetes, again, obesity. Please know obesity is a disease. If you're overweight at a certain percentage, your BMI, if it's at a certain percentage, you are classified as being obese, and that is a disease. And that particular film, it had me my mouth was open the whole time. Like, I'm watching it like, no, seriously. I was watching it. I'm sitting there. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but we're unplugged. I'm gonna be real serious. I was eating nachos at the time. I had my nachos and I had this little cheese dip that I like. And I'm sitting there and it really get into certain things that I already know. You know, like, I know that specifically sugar won't cause diabetes. Please know that. People, do your research. That does not cause, you know, diabetes. A whole bunch of carbs won't cause you to gain a lot of weight. The relation to it could. In other words, if you've been eating a certain type of way all your life, saturated fats, trans fats, this, that, and the thirds, on a cellular level, your body is going to get to the point to where it can no longer regulate your sugar. And so this video, What the Health, pretty much outlined all of that. Now, don't get me wrong. You know that when someone makes a movie or let me say this, a film or an advertisement, they're not just doing it just because, you know, they can do it. Please know that even this particular film, it's been critiqued at trying to point people to a plant-based diet. And plant-based diets has been the new fad, so to speak. Now, keep in mind, this film talks about not just the science of your health and the science of what these foods, you know, what it's doing to us in our everyday diets. It actually talks about the industry of marketing and how these companies, you have certain companies, and I am not going to mention them because we are live, but there are certain companies that are targeting a population of people, and they're making it seem like this is healthy. You should eat this. You know, so don't get me wrong. There are some positive things about this film, and there are some things where you can see that it's pretty much geared toward plant-based diet, pretty much.
Now,
when I was,
can I ask you a question real quick, Jay?
Sure.
What did you say again that the article said about what, like, they didn't have the FDA kind of approved it, whatever it was? What are the two things again?
Well, it's not. They left it the same. They did not say anything about the uptick for the past 5 or 6 years, including this year. They did not say anything about how there's been an uptick in processed foods and sugars and alcohol consumption. So they made no changes to it. The science is there. There's been case studies. There's been all types of, surveys, and then the numbers in the past few years with people has diabetes and who's overweight now, like that, those numbers have changed. But when they brought out the new guidelines, they made no mention of it. They left it.
But why would they? You think we finna mess up our money trying to make y'all healthy? No, the cure is in the medicine. We got y'all fat and sick so y'all can come back and get y'all insulin, so y'all can get y'all blood pressure medicine, y'all can get y'all cholesterol medicine. Man, it's all big business. Let's
play into what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
With everything that's going on, and I challenge somebody, if I'm lying, post it, because I want to see the proof. From the time that Dave started this pandemic, whatever you want to call it,
Did you just say pandemic?
Yeah, pandemic. Yes. Basically, I've heard about stocking up on toilet tissue, paper towels, Lysol, hand sanitizer, get your mask, people wearing gloves on TV. I'm talking about media.
Yeah.
I have never heard them once say focus on building up your immune system. Not once. Not once.
I can agree.
They promoting for you to order your food, get it shipped to the house, whatever. I saw somebody earlier, and I'm not gonna put them on blast. I'm not gonna mention their name. And this is the hypocrisy of how I don't get what's going on and how people don't see it. You get out your car, you wearing a mask. You go into an establishment with a bag of McDonald's. That doesn't make any sense. How are you walking? Wait, let me get this straight. You're wearing a mask supposed to protect you from something, but you ingesting something in your body that's going to attract it. Come on, man. Seriously?
Yeah.
I saw. Yeah. Now y'all know I be slanging this shit. When I y'all this after I say I'm gonna shut the hell up. I'm ready. I'm ready for our guests to come on. Y'all know the cart thing that people be driving around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw an old white dude with a mask on in his cart, in the thing. It was all soda. I swear
Lord,
it was about 8, whatever it was, however it was lined up. If you could fit 4 in there, it was 8. If it was 5, it was 10. All soda. Half of it Coke, the other Diet Coke. Word. For real. Come on, man.
That's ridiculous.
That's the shit that I'm talking about that's frustrating. Is that, oh, well, everybody ain't got the same immune system like you, whatever the case may be, blah, 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 blah. But you have one.
Yeah.
Since you have one, change your eating habits. Let's see what can happen rather than you talking shit to me about what I should be doing, wearing a fucking mask, but you downing fast food and a Diet Coke. Get the fuck out of here. Miss me with that shit. Yo,
it's contradicting. And that's what pretty much what the health talks about. How contradicting it is for, the American Cancer Society, right? To have certain foods that you should be consuming, and most of them is processed foods. It's processed foods. I like I said, I cannot express to people enough. Arm yourself with good information. Do your research. Look these things up. Because don't be a whole. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. I think is that how you say it? Don't drink the Kool-Aid, people.
It is how you say it. Kool-Aid tastes good as hell. That's some super processed shit too. Ain't supposed to be happening.
Yes, that's processed too. So I'm gonna wrap this up because, like I said, that particular documentary really had a big impact on me. Like, I'm one of them people. Listen, I'm gonna lead from example. After watching that, and me and Jermaine, you and I talked about it. After watching that, I'm not cutting it for life, but I definitely, no chicken, no beef. Although I was never big on beef anyway. I don't really eat a lot of red meat. My thing with wings, that's my thing. If someone is watching this and y'all know me, you already know. I stopped. Right? I mean, right now, what I'm doing myself is mainly, 60%. Well, I'm gonna say 70% vegetables and 30%. I do fish. Okay. And even that you can't trust. Okay. I try to select wild caught. I'm reading labels. I'm one of them people that you'll see in the store, standing at the freezer or whatever, and I'm standing there like reading the label, and and I know people like be looking at me sideways, like you just gonna stand here the whole time? Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna take time. When I'm slinging groceries, you better get the hell out of my way. I'll be like, all right, Miss, excuse me, I got to go get that crap. So get the police.
No, I stand there and I read through everything. I mean, you have to, because you don't know what you're putting in your body. Like there's actually a part of that of the documentary that said dietary choices now trumps smoking. Yeah. In other words, the foods that we're eating, that we select to eat and we eat on a regular basis, you really need to think about it, because it could be just as bad as smoking. And you know how they demonize smoking, cigarettes and the likes. So yeah, that's why I am so excited about this first episode that we're doing, because we're going to be talking about health and nutrition. Y'all listen, if nothing else, get your questions in. You know, at this point, it's time. You know, we need to take matters into our own hands, because that article pretty much told me I can't even trust what the U.S., you know, what the regulators are putting out there for me. I can't.
Man, this is what you just said is the perfect segue to bringing on our guests. And basically, I'm gonna give this king the ultimate introduction, and I'm gonna tell y'all how all of this came about. A couple years ago, I was in Jersey, and I was doing something, and I was waiting, and I happened to go on YouTube. And as I was going on YouTube, I saw a video, and they mentioned him. Now, when they mentioned him, I was thinking about getting my body back right, because for me, I was out of shape. I'm still out of shape. It's not as bad as it was, but I was out of shape. I hit him up. He called me back. We were on the phone for over an hour. First time talking, because the energy was right. Then we ended up meeting or whatever, and I always big him up and blow him up because of energy and knowledge. He is very, very knowledgeable, and for me, that carries a lot of weight. So without further ado, I want to introduce y'all to my man Khalil. He's in Newark, New Jersey, just so y'all know. So if you're up in the Jersey, New York area, you definitely go ahead and meet him face to face.
The bricks.
And the other thing with that is, before I be quiet, what I want y'all to know is this. Number one, his IG is right there. You can go ahead and see it. You can hit him up. But the other thing about tonight is this. If you have any questions for him, put them in the comments. If you want to come on camera to ask him a question, hit me up or put it in the put your email address or whatever in the comments. I'll send you the link. You come on, ask your question, and we can go ahead and move forward. But now is the time to get your people on the show, because honestly, it's time to save lives. It's time to save lives. Khalil, the floor is yours. The floor is yours, little bro.
Peace, family. How's everyone doing tonight? I can definitely tell the energy's right. Can everyone hear me? We good?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Okay. I'm always in books. I have books everywhere, so I'm just brushing up on some data that I've been meaning to go over, just dealing with what I'm listening to. But before that, I'm going to introduce a little bit about myself, what I do, and why I do it. Obviously, my name is Khalil, the brother. Thank you for your gracious intro, my brother, and I hope I can live up to that grace myself. And you know, just get into how I started and you know, what it means to me. I started as a personal trainer. You know, as far as health is concerned, you know, many of us, you know, we only know fitness. We only attracted to fitness when it comes to health. Well, now it's different, but before this whole situation, I would say within the past 3 years, our community didn't care about the health aspect overall, because fitness is just a branch of the health tree. So many of us start with fitness. When we're thinking about getting right, we start with fitness. So I've always been active. My body's always been lit. I've always known how to take care of it. And, you know, that's where I started. I was forced to be a personal trainer because my knowledge would supersede the gym. I've had owners talk to me, and it wasn't about kicking me out the gym. It was actually telling me how good of a feeling they had that I was in their gym, because I would bring a lot of business. The energy was always good when I'm dealing with people. People chose me above a lot of trainers, and it just kind of just forced me to get into it. So, but I started to realize over time, we're talking about, I've been in fitness 15 years. I've been training over 8 years, and I've been in the field of nutrition for over 4 years. So just throughout that time of fitness, I realized that you just can't outwork bad eating. You just, you know, physically, it just won't happen. That's like saying you're trying to go down south from Jersey with a car full of no gas or bad gas, which is worse. So, you know, I started to take a more detailed approach into my my nutrition overall, and I didn't set out to be vegan or anything like that. This is approximately 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I made my conscious decision to switch up my lifestyle and just be a clinical study for myself, along with the knowledge that I see in books and other formats, other platforms that disseminate information. And you know, my purpose was to alleviate joint pain. I really didn't say I'm going to go vegan. Like when, you know, once again, and my segue into this lifestyle was Dr. Sebi. I was watching Dr. Sebi so much that, you know, I found myself not getting any sleep, and it was all right. But then I realized the great need for exegesis, an explanation of what science he was bringing to our forefront, which was health, true health for our biological setup. So I just went out to try certain foods and eliminate certain foods just to see what had happened. And, you know, a lot of things started happening. My joint pain went away within the first week, like 75% of my joint pain drastically decreased. My skin started changing, my vascular system, the plumpness of my veins were normal. I didn't have to work out or get hyped up to see my veins. I would just see them just off the wake up and just, you know, doing normal functions with the body. So the joint pain, you know, I was a supplement master. So we talking about pre-workout, post-workout. I was schooling whole locker rooms on pre-workout before that even became a fad and everything like that. That was just bodybuilding world. So, you know, I was buying supplements for my joints and everything, and I threw that away first week. And I only changed my breakfast. You know, I started steaming collard greens, and because I heard collard greens are definitely good for calcium. And I've been drinking milk all my life, so I know that story. So let's see what collard greens have to offer. And definitely was a hit. And you know, I've been pretty much increasing in my prominence in this lifestyle since then. But just to give you a little bit more idea on the beginning processes after that, you know, just pushing myself in the gym. You know, this is a vehicle, so whatever's going to be truthful I'm going to find out faster because I'm pushing myself and active beyond the normal activity intensity. So I found you can build more muscle faster. I got rid of 95% of my supplements, multivitamins included, and I actually got stronger without them. And you know, this is when I started going in about meat, because meat in the fitness world is not really, you know, we just use it, protein. It's like the taste is cool, but it's all about usage, which is the idea. You always want to look at food on what you can do with it, because it's a plant before you eat it. It's food when you eat it. So I was always big on, of course, the general protein equals meat and muscle equals protein. And I can tell you this whole way of living changed my whole perspective on nutrients, nutrient absorption, the truth about meat consumption, our gut microbiota, or our gut bacterial world, and how the processes meat versus when it doesn't have meat, all of that. And you know, I married it. I married the lifestyle. I didn't need much. I'm somebody, you know, time is not the greatest asset. Time's the constant. Energy is the greatest asset. That's what you have outright. Time is just your opportunity to exercise that energy. So I don't waste energy off of speculation and, you know, having to be too thorough with results. All I need is a couple of drastic results in my favor. I'm in. because I'm able to study. I don't just jump into anything extremely. So so yeah, you know, that's what 2015 up to 2016 when I made the conscious decision to really switch it up, and when I started feeling those results, and up to now, you know, I don't eat meat at all. I don't care for it. I don't want it. I don't like it. It stinks. It's horrible. It's full of shit, literally, full of antibiotics. I don't, you know, I really don't. You know, if you don't have a stomach of a lion, you're not meant to eat meat. Period. I don't care how much you like it. That just means you're an addict. And if you are in denial, that means you're a bigger addict. I was born from 2 addicts, so I know addictive behavior. That's also why I'm good at what I do. So, you know, all of those things are, you know, it's not just hindsight, it's also foresight, and, you know, me being grateful that I was able to do what I needed to do for me to see a change so drastic that it allowed me to literally help hundreds of people. I've helped hundreds, from training and fitness to nutrition coach, helped hundreds of people since then, 2016, and I'm looking to helping millions more. So that's just a brief explanation of, you know, my story and how I got up to this point. And right now I'm currently a nutrition coach, fitness specialist when it comes to workouts and programs and how to build this vessel into what you want it. And I don't discriminate. You know, I receive people who eat meat, so I'm not like, you don't eat meat, you gotta go or whatever. Like, I'm not like that. I don't advocate for meat.
You don't
So,
meat shame.
yeah, I don't advocate for meat, but I do give the truth. I give the raw truth, and I'm able to give protocols for anyone to succeed in their lifestyle. So,
Well, Khalil,
that's enough about your boy Khalil. Thank you for listening, and I'm looking forward to a nice build tonight.
we're gonna start asking these questions, and I'm gonna start off with the young lady. So,
Okay.
Lady J, if you have a question, go ahead and ask the young king.
I do. So, you know, I went onto your Instagram, and you have an incredible following. First and foremost, you have some really insightful information on your Instagram. I spent a lot of time on it, just going through, you know, the different videos and you know, that energy. I really like your energy. So a lot of people may not really know exactly what a holistic health coach is. Could you give us some insight, like, on exactly what you do as far as, you know, being a holistic health coach?
Okay. Before that, I'm going to just elaborate briefly on where we're coming from. We're coming from a system that has programmed us to take care of things in a partialistic way. The opposite of holistic is partialistic, right? So the same thing about, you know, me and my brother Fu, we talk about this all the time. I love his energy. I'm the same way. If the body's one system, how can they make money off of dicing sickness into parts? What's the difference between arthritis and laryngitis, except that it's an itis in location, right?
Right.
So the same effect goes into fixing the body, quote unquote. It never gets fixed because what? Something else goes wrong. And then that one thing comes back, because you cannot heal the body partialistically. You have to holistically treat the body. And that's just with food. They don't even deal with mind and spirit because they wouldn't have a system. You can't rule this type of system over knowledgeable gods and goddesses. So, you know, that was the, you know, dealing with fire. I gotta have a reason. So that was a reason enough that I was caught in it. You know, everybody's grandmothers, aunts, and uncles have pretty much died or are in currently suffering states due to this system's protocol. So I got into the world of holistic, I would say regeneration, and because of the opposite being so prevalent. And I'm a moving shaker. I'm a doer. I'm a straight Leo. August 5th. Sun and moon is Leo. So I'm gonna take your collar type of dude and walk with you, even if you don't like it, because you liking something has nothing to do with knowing something. So I don't take, with my family in mind, I don't take no for an answer when it comes to blind, blind endangerment. I'm gonna say blind endangerment, right? Which is why my mother is, I always carry her. She's 60 pounds down from March till now. She's been cleared medically of all medications, and I'm her medication now. Literally, her doctor prescribes me. So, I got proof. I got real proof beyond books. I don't play no games with this shit. And that's the attitude that I bring first, is that you cannot be playing around with this. And then, just realizing, what we've missed as far as culture. It's real deep when you start getting into holistic, because you got to get into people's problems, their traumas, because those are the signals on which they eat. No, those are the signals on which drives them to consume. I'm gonna say that. It could be images, consuming sounds, consuming food. There's something impulsive, setting the signaling tones for people to engage in these foods and these images or whatever it is they're consuming. So I've lived my life a certain way, on both sides, where I know the dirt and I know the clean. So because I know the dirt a little bit more, I know how to deal with dirt. I know how to clean the room because I dealt with dirt and I ain't scared to touch it. So, and I have parents, and I have people that need me to be like this, because I'm probably one of the only ones that they know and trust to bring them this level of information. So, first it was for me, of course, that's number one. And then it was just to really help people understand the mentality. It's not really about food. It's about the mentality and the heartality. You got to have a heartality. They love talking about mental, but there's something that is absolutely void in the system, and that's a heart, right? And if you want research, look up the biggest family that's involved in all the diabolical systems out here, the Rockefeller family. You'll see what intentions they had for you when setting this up. So you'll find all the horror stories there. But what I'm saying is, we can only see the effects on our little levels, right? We see everybody sick, but we question it. What's going on? Are you so to the point we're just thinking we're supposed to be going around sick? Like, I look at people who get vaccinated, and I've been walking around for years, not coughing, no stomach aches, no headaches, no nothing. And you want to look at me like you protecting yourself from me when you're sick all the time and vaccinated and you got all the medications and vitamins? There's definitely some kind of disparity going on with the narrative, and our physicality is proving such. You know what I'm saying? It's just our addictive nature. We just move it to the side, and that's why. It's really that part. It would be okay if we were really know better, do better type of people, but a lot of people just know better and then actually do worse.
And do different. They know better and they do different. So you would say that the holistic approach is literally, mind and body.
Mind, body, soul. Absolutely.
And soul. Okay. Yeah. So that was actually one of the major questions that I have.
Okay.
That I had.
Yo, Khalil. So,
yes, sir.
So, like you said, it's addictive. It's addictive traits. When it comes to people, people and eating. Like when I was younger, I would eat, but I'd be working out like 4 and 5 times a day, 5 times a week. So I had that mentality. I eat what I want to eat. I'm working out, to work it off. Now that I got older, that shit hard as hell. Now it's like I can't be eating all that bull crap because I ain't even working out like I was working out before. Especially like in this quarantine where you would think I would be working out more because I got the gym in the garage. But hell, I don't even work out like I'm supposed to do when I got it right there, two or three steps away. So my eating habits, I under the good thing about me is I understand my eating habits and I know what I have to do to make it better. The hard part is, like you said, the heart and the mental has to be joined together to make it happen. And that has been my challenge here recently. But I plan on getting back there. I'm resetting 2021.
Okay. So, what's your plan, if you don't mind me asking? And how do you know it's the right plan for you?
So me and you, we talked a couple of days ago, and I told you, I
Mm-hmm.
had been doing keto off and on. So I was going, tighten up my keto, with getting rid of the sugar, getting rid of the carbs, the breads, the rice, all that white shit, getting rid of all that. I still eat my meat. I know. I still eat my meat and my veggies and up in my exercise. I drink water. I don't be drinking juice and Kool-Aid and all that shit. I don't drink like that. So that's basically, that was my plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And is that plan based off of just keto dieting, or do you know what your biology needs?
Basically just off of keto, what I've seen it has done for me in the past, because when I initially started keto with Jay, we kind of she started a little bit before me, and then I picked up a little after her. I lost like 25, almost 30 pounds within the
Okay.
first 3 or 4 months, and I was like, yo, this might be all right for me. And then, of course, once you lose those pounds, and you like, all right, well, I can slack off a little bit, and then your slack off turned into, I'm back
I'm
eating
off.
how I was eating before. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes, I agree. I totally agree.
Okay. So what I would suggest is I would never suggest a keto diet. And this is the thing. The same people killing us are prepackaging diets for us to get involved in, even the vegan one. And if you follow the rabbit hole, you'll see. And the reason why prepackaged diets are horror show is because it puts you into a even smaller box without really understanding. Do you understand the dynamics about macronutrients and the measurements of such protein, fats, carbs? Do you know your cells utilize glucose mostly, which you're not eating? Do you know when you are active, your body doesn't use fats? Your body uses glucose. Even if you're just walking fast, your body starts switching to glucose. So once you get that little perspiration, that little coolness, right to glucose. And which is why when you stop, or when you stop working out, you see the truth of your eating based on your mineral depravity, which leads you to more cravings, your weight mismanagement under management, because to not work out means you're managing normal life, and you're supposed to be lean. You're supposed to be able to stay lean if you're eating biologically friendly, right? And you're supposed to stay in a certain state of homeostasis, right? So if you're talking homeostasis and your cells don't, even though they utilize fatty acids, that's not the basis for citric acid cycle and cellular respiration. It's B vitamins and glucose, right? So you're missing out on a lot of what you need, And the dieters are not going to tell you that. They're just going to package it up, tell you to pay, and you lose weight, good. But what kind of weight are you losing? How many different, I would say, how many different categories of weight is there? You got water, waste, you got nitrogen, you got fecal matter, you got all these things that your body's letting go. How do you know that you're losing what you're supposed to be losing and not gaining what you're not supposed to be gaining? Even though weight isn't telling the story, because weight doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, when most of us, when we're working out, especially us men, we work out in an anaerobic state. That is oxygen depravity. You're depriving yourself of oxygen, and glucose is very important for the replenishment of the oxygenation situation, because that's what your muscles use, right? Your muscles use glycogen or glucose, for energy, and you work that energy and then you replace that energy, right? And I'm not saying fats is not a problem, but fats unbalanced is. And if your body chooses fat as an ultimate energy source, you will be suffering more than just drastic weight fluctuations, mood swings, whatever. It'll be a whole metabolic nightmare. So the thing is for sure, protein from meat causes a proteolytic fermentation that is carcinogen. You talk about carcinogens in cigarettes. That's why. They're not telling you that, right? And you're probably going to start changing your thoughts after hearing that, because meats are the most carcinogenic causing foods. The reason cheese trumps is because it's from meat, contains fat and sugar. So we're talking about a triple-headed monster that is not only killing our people, but is using them to kill themselves in a form of addiction, based on what cheese does to your dopamine, your pleasure centers, and your dopamine complex.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, pretty much from the stuff that you just said, because there's a lot of people out here listening, and I want the questions to start coming. You explained where you've come from and how you've gotten your knowledge and everything like that. But what I want you to say to the people is this: tell the people out there the ailments you've helped them overcome, because they need. It's a lot of people out here dealing with shit, and when you start talking about our people, you know what? Before you say that, let me ask you, because I want to make sure I frame this correctly. There's diabetes, there's high blood pressure, there's all these ailments and stuff like that, but they always say it affects our community differently. My question to you is that true? Because to me, it's white people out there with diabetes and fucking high blood pressure too. So is there a difference? Is there a difference between us having it and them having it?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I was just reading. I'm gonna give you the example because that's what I'm here to give. First, I'm gonna answer what you initially came up with as far as what I've dealt with. I've dealt with individuals who've had diabetes, hyperthyroidism, fibroids, and other cystic fibrosis situations, fibromyalgia, neuropathy from diabetes. What else? Kidney cancer. I'm currently helping a brother with lung cancer right now. Breast cancer. There was a rare cancer my man had. I mean, headaches. Moods. Talking about heavy bleeding, heavy menstrual cramps, hairy growth. Like we talking about all types of situations. But diabetes and obesity, definitely, because I'm a fitness guru, and you know that's one of the main things on the table. Diabetes, or I would say obesity, and then you're dealing with diabetes after that. So there's more, but those are the ones I want to highlight. I just helped a sister reverse her situation with diverticulitis, which is a condition in the colon.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, not only that, she was scared to eat grains, but not scared, but she was kind of like, you know, she really wanted the grains aspect to be better in her repertoire. And I introduced her one of the grains that she loves. I mean, she sticks to it now. It actually helped the matter. And you know, she's good. She's rolling, man. She, you know, when she got with me, she couldn't use the bathroom like as efficiently as she wanted to. You know, it was discomforting because she has a history of living somewhat consciously healthy and so on and so forth. But you know, there's levels, man. There's levels, especially where we coming from. You know, when they tell you red meat is okay to eat from the American Cancer Association, then yeah, we definitely have a serious situation with advice. And you know, it was good, you know, with her. But those are some of the ones some of the ailments I've dealt with, dealing with other individuals. But one thing I can say with your you know, what you're saying now is it definitely matters with us, our people, in chronic diseases and the medical establishment. You got to understand the individuals who set up your medical establishment, which in turn set up the standards from which you eat. They were eugenicists. Bill Gates' father included, Rockefeller included. So we trust in people. We talk. I can't believe they. Do you know they? We talk shit around people that we barely know and try to check them out and smell them and see if they gonna cause it. But we have trusted in our education system. Everything about our condition is trusting the people we need to be checking in. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it that when it comes to hypertension, we don't get diagnosed more? We die more. That's ridiculous. We don't, we're here, we lead in this, we lead. That's deaths. That's deaths and being left to manage or symptom manage a condition. Because we lead in the death category from hypertension, even though Caucasians are diagnosed more with hypertension, right? We are least to manage and control our hypertension. When they kick you out the hospital, give you those meds to tell you to, have a good day. However, Caucasians, they manage it better, right? Even though they're more diagnosed. And one of the main things they tell us to do is cut our sodium. And that's where the disparity comes from, because that's medical bias. If you know, a black kidney has our renin levels, our plasma renin, our plasma renin levels are way lower than Caucasians, way lower. Your renin, I'm gonna give you a little spill on what renin is. You'll probably heard renal carcinoma. That was the situation my kidney cancer was dealing with, papillary renal carcinoma, right? So what happens is, because melanin, you have a gene, a sodium-based gene that is responsible for melanogenesis, creation of melanin, right? So our body uses sodium. That's why we cook, flavor, and we act like we got flavor. You know what I mean? It just makes sense. We cook bold, and we love bold foods, bold flavors. And some other individuals, it's bold, but it ain't like that. It's a little bland. We could do the potato salad thing. We know whose potato salad we ain't eating. So there's a reason for that. If we don't eat sodium, if we don't eat the proper amounts of sodium, then we are going to have blood pressure issues. We're going to drastically be in low blood pressure, and then our angiotensin levels are going to start being secreted, and our renin is going to connect, and then you're going to activate the renin angiotensin aldosterone system, which is the system being hijacked by the coronavirus, SARS coronavirus, right? And you can research this. I put it in my post. Matter of fact, I just put one page. I'm gonna post the whole spill on it, but yeah, that's what we're dealing with, bro. Like, we're dealing with. I'm not gonna go because I want to kind of just keep going piece by piece, but we're dealing with just a situation where there's a lot of bias in the medical system.
I got a very specific question for you, but I'm gonna lay it out to you the way she put it, and then I want you to go ahead and answer it. She said, I need to reach out to him. He may be able to help me with gaining weight and muscle, but I know I need to detox first. Thanks for having him on. He's very knowledgeable. He's my missing link because she has rheumatoid arthritis. And she said her body has 68% of information. What will be his plan for her? Well, basically, what would be your plan for her?
Shoot me a DM or email or call me. I'm joking. That's that point. But no, what you want to start, she's got it right. She's got it right. You got to start detoxing. And if you've been banging on your car, you just been driving it, to work, you work where it's dirty and filthy, you just driving, you just put it, only thing you care about is gas, right? Eventually, what's going to happen if you don't deal with any maintenance? The performance of that vehicle is going to break down, no matter how loud the engine revs when you in park, right? So the same thing happens with our vehicles when we don't do our checkups and our maintenance checks and our detoxing. So what happens is there's a buildup of adipose tissue due to being in the obese category or dealing with too much fat composition, body fat composition. What people don't understand is that there is a it's called elevated tumor necrosis factor A levels in adipose tissue of obese individuals, and the contribution of TNFA to the establishment of insulin resistance. So what happens is, if you leave your body in a certain state, it'll start flicking switches to start creating tumor. This is why you always see the tumors first. You know what I'm saying? It's always, oh, there's a tumor found here, the tumor found there. And then there's cancer cells, right? So what she wants to do is start reversing whatever got her into that situation, whether it be people. You need to detox people. People are the only things that could bring you everything. Food, headache, places to eat. They can bring you can stay in the bed and have all the plans of staying away from somebody, and then they're gonna come show up.
True.
Right? So you need to food don't move and jump in your mouth.
Right.
Liquor don't just jump. No, people move things. So the first thing to detox is any negative influences, and then her own influential situation on dietary selections. And there's a set amount of herbs that I would recommend, but I would need a little bit more information on a situation. But generally, that'll be good enough. Increasing those green leafy vegetables, detoxing that blood so that arthritis can go away.
I'm gonna ask you another question that somebody put up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and bring my man Ken on because he want to ask you on camera.
Okay.
Someone said, I'm suffering really bad from uterine fibroids. Can we please touch on that subject?
Cheese. I don't know if anybody remember, but I think it was 2000 and it was like anywhere from 2015 to 2018. In between there, the individuals who deal with food, the FDA and all of that, they wanted to introduce more cheese in the diet of Americans through the fast food companies. This is why all of a sudden you had Pizza Hut and Domino's, more cheese. You had Taco Bell, more cheese. You had a whole lot of different companies, the cheese was the aspect. And not too long after that, there was a fibroid epidemic. There was like 1 year where fibroids was the main case of cases, and it's directly related to cheese.
I actually remember that because you found a lot of universities like Columbia and New York. They started doing case studies. And even now you can see that on Facebook as an advertisement. Do you suffer from fibroids? They're still doing these different case studies. You're absolutely right.
And there's more than 63% of our women are damaged from fibroid. Don't you know that's sterilization? That's genocide. Women who have fibroids have the hardest time reproducing. So, and where are these foods located? In what neighborhoods? They say low income.
Neighborhoods.
Yeah. They say low income, but
urban neighborhoods. Yes.
With you saying that, here's something I want to add on to what you just said, because this is where, for me, I kind of want you to touch on the difference between us and everybody else. When I hear about fibroids, it's always black women. I don't never hear about white women with fibroids. If it is, then okay, cool. I never hear that ever. So is there a distinction between them and us when it comes to fibroids? Because they eat cheese all the goddamn time.
Genetic.
Yeah, okay. Genetic. I was about to say that. Yeah. From my understanding. Yeah, that it's higher in women, melanin. If you're a woman of color, it's going to be higher in women of color.
That's because our body fights harder. See, the symptoms are always to tell you that your immune system is working differently than others. So they make the symptom out to be the sickness when it's not. That's why pneumonia is killing people, not a virus. There's something called the human virome. You have all the viruses in you already. They're in you. You can look it up. You think your cell count is heavy? Please, viruses outnumber your cells like 10-1. Stop it. Stop it. You see if you look at microscopic pictures and videos and you see a cell and you see all those little things running around, those are viruses and bacteria.
Yeah.
So they'll tell you, oh, the virus, but no, it's not. It's the virus has hijacked something that causes a certain situation, but the virus was activated by an immune system that wasn't kept up. It'll happen to anything. If you, like Dr. Sebi said, if you lay down on a bed for too long, most housing nurses know this, or I would say, what do you call it? Home health aides. They know that if you lay somebody down for too long, what'll happen when you turn them over?
They'll have bed sores.
Worms.
That too.
You'll have live organisms coming out of your body. That means you have everything in you to produce live organisms. Did that person drink some organisms to have it come? No. Did they just pray for it and it came? No. No, they did one thing, lay down with no oxygen. That's the problem we're having. No oxygen. People don't know how to breathe right. People are still barely drinking water, yet alone the right water. Oxygenating foods, please. People are eating foods that deprive them of oxygen.
I wanna kind of end the show with going into that part of it. I want to do a follow-up question with the person with the fibroids, and then I'm going to let my man Ken come on camera to ask his question. She said, "Do you feel like birth control has a long-term effect and linked to fibroids?"
Absolutely. Matter of fact, that whole birth control system was started by another eugenicist. You got to understand, eugenicist was the way that Darwinism thing opened up to open the door for them to study us. They just needed a general picture for, everybody to get involved. Oh, okay, we accept this new way of science, but it was all about studying us. They even studied the fact that, because people forget something that was worse, the H1N1 flu, or in Obama's term. That was really tearing a lot of people up. And people don't know that they did a study shortly after that on how melanated people's immune modulating response was different from Caucasians' immune modulating responses, and it had everything to do with about our B lymphocytes, immunoglobulins, and some other immunogenic factors that have us to increase in our symptom. See, we want symptoms because the symptoms tell you something's there. So just because there's a myriad of differences in which race or which class of people get what versus what, because they get more skin cancer than we do, and we know why. That's genetics, but that's obvious. Oh, they don't have melanin in their skin and all of that. But why though? Why? What? That's not good enough. Why is that the case? Because the same thing is happening on us, and it's detrimental. They're not getting certain things, but we are. And everything about us is because our bodies choose leanness. We are sun people. Our bodies chooses leanness more than the fat route. That's why our women have more dark adipose tissue than white. White adipose tissue tears our women up. You don't find our women walking around with a lot of cellulite unless they big as hell and they eat a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's about understanding you, and you eat based off that truthfully. Don't worry about belief. Study it. Study it, because belief, you don't believe your way to work, do you? You know what time, you know what day you got off. You don't say, I believe I got, no. You call and find out, right? So we need to do the same thing now.
Hey, we got a bunch of questions coming in. Jay, didn't you say you had somebody with a question?
I do. Let me navigate my way over to it. Actually, the person was asking, first of all, he said, "You the man." He did say that. And then he said, ask him, what kind of foods can we substitute for the average person who can't fully eat vegan or clean?
Well, you got to understand, you wouldn't eat meat without plants, herbs, onions, peppers, So you're not really eating meat. Everything else is plants. You're already plant-based. Most people only eat between 3 or 4 meats. Don't nobody do turkey except on Thanksgiving, really. Turkey sandwiches don't count. So when you think of, if you really sit and think, this is why I said we have to think. We have to just analyze where we are, and we'll realize we already plant-based. We have grinders. We don't have fangs. We gotta eat plants. So I would say if the texture, first of all, you don't know who you would be until you become that person. So most people are saying, they're struggling because they really haven't shown consistency. Same way a drug addict can go about their life some years later and not have to worry about drugs. Same way we can go about our life and not worried about drug-related foods that have been killing us. You know what I'm saying? All we got to realize is that without paprika, without cayenne pepper, without garlic, without onion powder, without thyme, without oregano, you know how powerful oregano is, but you ain't eating no meat without it. No meatballs. You ain't eating no spaghetti meatballs without oregano. You ain't eating. So that just means plants win anyway. You just have to find out what seasoning, what seasoning matrix you like. Keep it. Turn white salt into sea salt or Himalayan sea salt.
Himalayan, right?
White sugar into not brown sugar. Brown sugar is white, and white sugar and molasses mix. Coconut sugar, right? Got coconut sugar, and you have those are the first two. That'll alleviate everything. And then if you want texture, you go to a mushroom. You go to eggplant. You get a food processor. You can make like little salmon cakes. You could take a lion's mane mushroom, shred it up with a fork, mix it in flour, put your seasoning there, and cook it.
Wow. Okay.
Let me bring my man on. Bring my man on.
Yeah, it's easy. I would say it's simple. I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's not easy until you get used to it, but it is simple to start.
Yo, Ken, are you there?
Yo, can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah. Turn your camera on, bro. You enjoy.
I got a lot of stuff going on in the background. There's a lot of things going on.
I can hear it, brother.
Yeah, you hear it. Yeah. So now I don't want to put all that on camera. But listen, I got a question, bro. First of all, peace and blessings to you, and I'm glad that you having this conversation. All right. Peace. The question I have to ask you is, I have dealing with health issues since birth. I was born with certain things that I've been fighting totally throughout life that has affected me physically, mentally, even spiritually, emotionally, in the terms of life. I'm 40-something years old, so salute to everybody in here who's above 30 because y'all know the struggle. You know what I'm saying? But my question is about oxygen and keeping a positive oxygen flow in the body, because from birth, I've always had an issue with mucus. No matter what I eat, what I drink, or anything. And as you get older, of course, you get more lactose intolerant and your body starts to change. But for me, mucus has been the number one thing I've been fighting since I was 1 day old. I want to know, how do you change your whole state of living for more 360 degrees of oxygen, creativity, and flow in your body, and how to lessen mucus? Of course, I want to lose weight. Of course, I want to accomplish all the health things, but that's the main thing that attacks me no matter what I eat or what I do. Wow.
Excellent question, brother. Excellent. And your question is going to help other people, because I'm quite sure that's something what others are going through too, because mucus is definitely the number one symptom with like low grade meta inflammation. It goes along with obesity. Obesity is a meta inflammation situation, meaning a metabolic inflammatory situation. So I'm gonna give you an example of what I gave my lung when I was doing a consultation for the individual who I'm dealing with lung cancer, or I'm servicing. Not dealing, I don't like saying that, but that's that northern in me. What happens is your mucous membrane is there it's another waste. It's like another waste management system, right? And it's really to maintain real bad toxin. Like that's the real waste management system. It gets down with flush the toxins out, right? But what happens is you have epithelial cells. Epithelial cells, there you got 4 types of tissue: connective tissue, muscle tissue, and then you have epithelial as a part of that, right? It's all over your body, and it's usually connected with you're talking about, it's usually glandular. You know, it's usually a glandular thing, and it's there so it can modulate that whole mucus situation, right? So not only that, it's there to protect. It's the outer tissue that protects very important glands, organs, and so on and so forth. So that's the tissue that's compromised when it comes to mucus. And usually the mucus is coming from an agent, something you're introducing to the body by way of food. And sometimes you may be more sensitive than others. So it may be a certain food that's really causing it, or you leaving off that food just wasn't enough. You're going to have to detox, but you may have to detox before you even see any relief beyond just leaving the food alone. So what happens was I was, and this is very important. I was on the phone, and the brother was giving me his experience at the doctor, as much of the doctor's words that he can relate to me. I was on it, and I told him there's going to be something in your address that I'm going to see. That is a warfare. They give warfare verbiage. You just don't. If you don't know, you won't catch it. So eventually, he made it to a point. You know, he was given descriptions, and he made it to a point where he said, "Yeah, they saying, you know, the mucus. They saying, they said because he's brother from Jamaica, right? So his DNA is from a carbon-rich place. So his DNA and his body is going to be more prone to fighting off diseases than a Caucasian, and even some of us us melanated people that live in the mainland of America in cooler climates. But what he mentioned is that they noticed that, you know, they said to him, "Oh, you're secreting more mucus than the normal human." Right? And I just finished priming him and briefing him for the verbiage by posing the question, what is their standard of normal? Right? So, you know, he also said that they said that this is where the cancer cells are. And I said, you know why? Because that's the mechanism that is supposed to drain the cancer cells out of you. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is your immune system works, or I would say that part of your immune system works by trying to get rid of harmful agents in the form of cancer or tumors or whatever, you know, whatever is in line with lymphatic drainage, tries to get rid of it with some kind of clearance, right? So you need to find out how you can get a nice herbal treatment to get mucus clearance. You don't want no mucus. Mucus is there to protect you, but you want to clear the mucus you want to clear the compromised mucus. The mucus that's already, they just carry waste baskets. So, you know, if you got mucus that got waste and then it can't get out the body, then something's going to happen. So the whole thing is about clearance. And that's what I was telling the brother that I was helping, that my herbal concoction that I made custom for him is going to help with lymphatic. I haven't heard a phone call back of bad news yet. And, you know, we're talking about, this is almost about a week now. And, you know, just keep continuing that process, and oxygen-rich foods. No more white sugar, no more white salt. You know, white sugar is made with fructose and sucrose. Bad combination. So you just expedited the amount or exploded the amount of sweet per tablespoon. So if I get a tablespoon of coconut sugar, tablespoon of white sugar, the white sugar is going to be extremely sweeter because the processing makes it so. That's why it's so damaging. Salt, the same thing. Sodium and chloride. No, just sodium. And it's called Na for a reason. It's called natron because it literally builds nature. It builds the earth. So you're supposed to have salt, right? So those are the two components I would definitely tell you to switch immediately. And then take out the meat, cheese, any dairy. You got to take that. You got to take that out because that's the biggest contributor to mucus. which means you're building up toxins. And then after that, you dedicate to a oxygen-rich, plant-based way of living, which is you're talking about greens and fruits. When it comes to oxygen, you're talking about greens and fruits. They cycle more oxygen in nature than most other botanicals, including legumes, nuts, seeds, and even grains. Grains are cool, but we're talking about oxygen. We're talking about green leafy vegetables, collards, dandelion greens. And trust me, I had the same thing, bro. I didn't suffer as extreme as you, but I was always trying to kick that mucusy feeling. I'm waking up and I'm hawk spitting and I'm sounding like I'm mutating. And once I switched, man, I was good. Like I could breathe. Even right now, I ain't got no mucus. I'm good.
I respect
So
that. I would like to work with you in the future because just to let you know, food know me pretty good. I'm very picky. I don't put a lot of stuff in me. I don't eat a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's a good mindset.
Yeah, and like you, I agree everything with you with dairy and cheese. I don't do that. I don't do sugars. I actually go times at a time. I've done no meat for 6 months just to reset my body time at a time. But even through that, I still have this mucusy feeling, and there's times where I could breathe out of one nostril only and not the other, and it hurts me when I go to sleep. Even in my wake up, it's like a very hard feeling. So I don't want to like take up the show. I would love to talk to you and probably work with you one-on-one and see how we can navigate this issue and hopefully dead it.
I'm gonna connect.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna connect y'all. Ken, thanks a lot for coming on, fam. I appreciate
Hey,
it.
we got an older a question. I think we missed it. Marlene Ali, I hope you're still on. I'm sorry, I apologize. We didn't get to you when you asked it, but her question was, and you kind of answered it a little bit with Kev just now. But she said, what foods and drinks would you recommend to help rid the body of inflammation? I'm pretty active and I have started power walking.
Okay. Good. It's really about staying away. It's really about common sense. We got common sense. We know what we're supposed to be eating. And we wouldn't be alive this much if we was just eating all BS, just Wendy's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we got a common sense on a general basis of what we need to be eating. It's just we never knew why we need to be eating it, beyond the feeling. Like, you just feel something, that's it. But I don't think that's enough now to drive us to eat certain foods we need to. However, the sickening feeling we get from eating foods we aren't supposed to eat, I think that can be a driving force with staying away. And that's the real major concern, is staying away from carcinogenic foods. I mean, there's no such thing. Like I do the studies. You have when you break certain foods and drinks down, it gets broken down into millions of little things. So even that little cheese, you think, oh, it's just a little bit. No, it's not. It's not a little bit. Oh, it's just a little. No, it's not. It's not a little bit. So we got to stop, even that mindset, because I know us. We'll keep edging. We're addictive. You got to understand, your melanin is an alkaloid and it binds to other alkaloids like drugs. So our addictive tendency is even stronger. You know what I'm saying? You will never outdrink a white person, right? I've been around them. There's no way you're not out drinking, out snorting, out smoking. You're not out toxifying yourself other than the Caucasian, and that's genetics. So we got to understand that means the creative force made us godly. We're godly type of people. We only need the godly foods. Our bodies don't do well with ungodly foods. Cleanliness is next to godliness, but if you don't eat clean, what kind of godliness you talking about? So, that's really what it is. Stay away from it and just up her leafy greens. I'm telling you, so leafy greens are serious. Dandelion greens, collard greens, mustard greens, and don't cook for 3 hours. Steam them. You can put a little heat to them. I would suggest going raw for those who really want a fast turnaround or may need it. Go raw, juicing, salads for a little while. Get your fruits and your seeds as well. But
why you making that face, Jermaine? Why you making that face? Hold up, Jermaine? Why you making that face?
No reason. I'm listening, man.
Because
I'm taking it in.
Also very particular about what he.
I'm picky, man.
Very.
I don't like cold foods. Like
Yeah.
salad. my palate don't like cold food.
No,
Man.
that's
So
good.
that's why
You're not supposed to have cold food. That's a good thing, brother. But room temperature, remember, room temperature foods can feel cold because you're 98.6 degrees, and your normal temperature in your house is 70, 75 to 77. So it's still gonna feel cool, but I would definitely agree. Don't make cold. Warm it up or eat it room temperature. Take the salad and just let it get room temperature. Eat it like that. You good, bro. You good, bro.
Hey, we got one more question. Monique Gray,
Okay.
she said, "What's the best way to clean and detox your colon?"
Wow. If you want like something a general practice with food, I would say fiber-rich foods. Don't go crazy on the fiber, but fiber-rich foods definitely starts the whole reversal process or the regenerating process. And then herbs like Cascara sagrada. Cascara sagrada is the colon herb. It has very little other functionality except for the colon. So definitely look into that. Cascara sagrada is CASCARASAGRADA. Cascara sagrada. They may call it something different in Caribbean, down south of Caribbean. You know how it go. We name things the same thing differently, but you can start there. That's the botanical name for it.
Here's another question. Is it all cheese or specific types? What about
all of it?
What about homemade cheese?
If it's from an animal, no. Why? Because if you're thinking about cheese, you're thinking about milk, and your mama's milk is the only milk you need, and you stop drinking that at 4 because your body stops needing it. That's why everybody's lactose intolerant, because they're not getting galactose. They're getting lactose from a cow. So that means all cheese is dead. Anything, if you're getting the DNA from something else, you're turning into that thing. You're turning into a goat, turning into a cow. You fat as a cow, thick as a cow, and that's what you get. I tell people, you reap what you sow. This is not rocket science. So this is addiction. This is what we're talking about. People know something's going on and they still eating. That's the bigger topic. So just think, if I ain't no cow, I don't need to be eating from no cow.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't even drink our mama's milk. If she poured it in, we'd be like, I don't want this. That's the milk you need to be drinking.
So here's a question, because you got a lot of like Jay said, you got these fad, everybody wants to be vegan and all this stuff. What about all these packaged stuff that these vegan companies that made, like the vegan Beyond Meat burgers and Beyond Meat sausage and stuff like that? That stuff heavily processed too as well, right? So how good is that for you, even though you're not eating meat, but you're still eating heavy processed stuff, right?
And listen, I'm glad you said that, because this can help us, to the end of the show. Veganism was never made for health. Veganism was a social experiment to bring in the greening facade. So the ones that deal with they control that industry, they can deal with fake food.
The agenda.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is why vegans were heavily malnourished when they started, because health wasn't the premise. It was animal activism, and it still is. That's why their world is different. See, I'm with the Sabi and Dr. Layla Africa clip. We don't deal with vegan. We deal with, this is going home for us. I don't know. I don't care about anybody else whose genetics aren't mine, because I don't relate to you and I'm not speaking for you. All I know is we were found in the tropics, next to fruit, vegetables, and all that stuff. So that means that's what we're supposed to be eating. And if we eating that, that means the animals are going to be good by default. We don't need to call that nothing. You're dealing with a people who need to name something in order for them to get a part of something. We don't. It's going back home for us. So we want to say plant-based at the most. If you're going to just label it something, plant-based, but because our ancestors did eat meat. The problem is extremism. Meat is only sold, just like everything else, for mass production. That's why they do all the stuff. They process it to make it grow faster. Bill Gates, he processed yeast in Soylent to make whatever that taste is you get in Beyond whatever or Impossible whatever.
Really?
Yo, I got two questions. I got two questions for you. Because I think this right here, if
I'm explaining to you after this.
if they got questions, I definitely want them to ask. But number one, what's up with soy? Number two, for anybody out there, this is what I've heard a lot. When I talk to people who are diabetic, and they say whatever they say, and I'm like, yo, you need to stop eating sugar, you need to eat more fruit. And they be like, nah, fruit got sugar in it. I ain't supposed to eat that. So please address the soy issue and the fruit when it comes to sugar and diabetics.
Well, like I mentioned, table sugar is fructose, the sugar you find in fruit, and sucrose. It's like fructose on steroids with no nutrients. The sugar that your body recognizes the most is fructose from fruit. So it is the most beneficial fruit for you. However, our other problem is extremism. We eat too damn much. And we want to bring that into this lifestyle and keep being greedy. That's the problem. Eat too goddamn much. Relax. Don't eat just sugary stuff or sugary fruits. Eat citrus fruit. Eat melons. Eat cucumbers. Cucumbers are fruit. You got to mix it up, and you got to realize it's about us being very poised and very conscious. We've ate quality and quantity negative. You eat the bad things in large amounts, you're going to get what you get. And if you take that show to healthy, it's no longer healthy because that is unhealthy, that mindset, that concept of overage. So you just ruin the whole health aspect for either side because of too much consumption.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say definitely stick with fructose and sugar and the sugars from fruit. And it actually helps diabetes. It helps get rid of diabetes.
What about artificial sweeteners?
Absolutely not. Unrecognizable. Artificial. Are you an artificial person? Did you come from an artificial person? You know what I mean? People like, oh, seedless. Do you have a seedless mother? You have a seedless mother. I dare you to say you came here from a seedless mother. Because they started hybridizing humans after plants.
Yeah.
They're doing it now. They're doing it now. They want people to have babies out of a machine, bro.
Wow.
And what's your feeling about soy?
George Washington Carver said there's over 200 things to do with a soybean except eat it. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Word.
That's checkmate. I don't go take it up with Mr. Georgie, because they're processing soy and only highlighting certain beneficial factors. But once again, for a certain biology, there's breast growing. I had a brother next door on my old block. He was growing breasts. I don't even think he realized, people just think fat is fat. And I'm like, no, all fat don't lay. We ain't supposed to have this hanging after a while. The belly is one thing, but nah.
So you saying for everybody out, you're pretty much saying we should not be consuming soy at all. Period.
Soy is the latest genetically modified nightmare. They have square miles of soy fields in like the heartland of America, Kansas, those areas, Nebraska. And if you're gonna, first of all, if you're gonna trust anything to consume, first you got to find out why you need it, and then you got to find out if there's better sources that nature made alone. That's it. It's about, if you got an ace, why you going for a jack or a 10? See me, I'm a different type of dude. Once I get an ace, I don't worry about kings, queens, and jacks. And don't let me get a joker. A joker card is the best. I don't care about lower when I got the best. That's the point. If we the best, we supposed to eat the best. Fuck soy, because soy is just heavily promoted. But you can get a better protein source in lentils. You could get a better protein source in lentils. Not only that, if you want a protein source that's the most medicinal, go to hemp. I put hemp seeds against soybeans any day, and it'll destroy all of that, all of them. All of the soy, whatever, it's over. It's a wrap.
Yeah,
trust me. But hold up, you will find a lot of herbal books. They put soy. I mean, they have a whole page worth of soy. But then You got to do your further research because the effects from soy don't match up. They don't add up to what they're putting in the books.
The health benefits, yeah.
Exactly. So I'm a results dude. Like I said, I'm a coach, trainer. I don't care about what paperwork you tell. The body don't lie. What you look like. So that's really the thing. Just shoot for hemp protein sources. I would say chia seeds, hemp seeds. Less is more in this thing, man, and it's better digestible too because soy is a ligum. Soy is still a ligum, and you got to be careful with too much fiber.
We got 10 minutes for the show for Jermaine and Jay. My question, what I want to ask y'all is, do y'all have any more questions? I think we need to dedicate this last 10 minutes to what's going on with this coronavirus, and he can address that also, and then we can go ahead and probably finish up the show.
Nah, I don't have any questions.
Yeah, you pretty much covered everything that I had in mind, and then the viewers also had questions that I didn't even think of. You answered that too. So thanks so much, Khalil. That was good information. I hope we can have you on again.
So yeah, definitely. The fool won't leave me alone if I go the other way. So I'm definitely gonna.
We got 9 minutes. I want you to truly address for everybody out there the myths and the truth about this coronavirus and what people should be doing and what they should not be doing.
Okay. Well, in the beginning, if you noticed, the coronavirus, when it was called the coronavirus, it came out of the Wuhan Center of Virology that is owned by the eugenicists. Funded and operated on a bigger level by the eugenicists, right? The same people who own the virus own the vaccine, right? So their reason for virus, because what they do is they actually manipulate viruses. These are man-made viruses, right? If nature had a virus and it was new and it was killing people, we'll all be dead some kind of way. Or nature would show who's immune to it based on who's still alive, right? Mask or not. So we're talking about a manufactured synthetic virus, right? And they do this in the, their main reason for doing this is in the event, humanity gets stricken by a virus, we want to know more about viruses, right? But we know that that's a lie now, because the same one paid for the virus, same one paid for the vaccine. So what's going on is that you have it's called coronavirus, and carnivorous is the same word, switch up the vowels. So they're telling you where it's a carnivorous situation. So it's meat driven. So most people eating meat, they're going to be dealing with symptoms, and you may not even have coronavirus. Honestly, they just want to see symptoms, right? That's all. They want to see symptoms. If you got pneumonia, bam, coronavirus. If you got high blood pressure, bam, coronavirus, right? So the thing about viruses is you have all the viruses in you because you need them to maintain a biofunctional reality with your environment, or you would have a whole lot of things killing you. So what's happening is there's a enzyme in the lungs called ACE2. ACE2 is responsible for down-regulating angiotensin 2 into angiotensin 1 through 7, which is anti-inflammatory, because that system, what I was saying, the RAS system, the renin angiotensin aldosterone system, is there to increase your blood pressure, right? But what happens when your blood pressure isn't able to go back down through that system because it's hijacked, but because the enzyme that is responsible for that down regulation is hijacked by what they call coronavirus. Now you have infinite inflammation, and because the cells, those enzymes are located in lung tissue cells, that's why you got lung tissue failure. It's not the air sacs, it's not the air ducts, it's not the airways, it's the tissue. That's why the ventilators were killing people. If I keep putting weight and you don't have the biceps to lift it, what's going to happen? So the weight is the oxygen, the pressure. But you don't have the musculature or the tissue to manage breathing. So you suffocate with oxygen. That's what was happening.
Wow.
So most people have an extreme level of just a respiratory infection due to fear. Our people, we are very susceptible to fear because our kidneys are different and our neurological system is different. Because we have a lot of pigment, neuromelanin, we process emotions deeper. That's why we're more spiritual. We got more feeling, soul, swag. We got a whole lot of intangible stuff that others don't. So if you want advice, get your immune system up because they're trying to say your immune system don't exist.
Hey, Khalil, just to touch on real quick what you said about the AC2 receptor. So if you let's say how it's affecting your blood pressure, right? So what if you are taking blood pressure medicine, which are most in the Black community are taking blood pressure medicine, so that would affect you more than anybody else.
There you go. Listen, there you go. You got it. You got it.
So when they put out that is affecting the Black community more, is because they know we take blood pressure medicine. We take,
but they recommend us no salt. That's the thing. They say stay away from salt, and that kills us. That's a wrap. It leaves the door open because we need salt. You know, your melanin creates water. Your melanin charge separates water. Your melanin uses sodium for that. Your melanin uses, you have a gene that encodes for melanogenesis using salt, copper, and calcium.
And now 9 months later, after this pandemic has been going on all this time, now the CDC finally say vitamin D3 can help you with the symptoms or whatever, or help your immune system. So if you don't open your eyes and see what's going on, then you're gonna stay lost. Because I'm not saying that people haven't died from the corona. Let me be clear about that. You may have had people that died, and I don't want to be insensitive to that. But if you can do stuff if you will promote building your immune system, that will be more effective than saying, well, let everybody get the vaccine. But of course, we know it's a money game. We know it's a money grab. We know what it's about.
Yep, and we big dollars on it, and we don't see that. I got a brother, one of my mentees. He's a chef, alkaline chef. He been in insurance. He know what them numbers look like. He know how those numbers move when our skin brands start talking help and assistance. So, yeah, you definitely on point, brother. And I would say, to add on to that, make sure we're not only protecting ourselves, but we're learning the ops. We got to learn what they're into. It's no longer just blindly trusting. That's an oxymoron. Blindly trust. It's about finding out the same way. If a man cheats on you, sister, what investigation? We need that. We need that, brothers. You know how somebody get over you at the car dealership and they trying to jerk you and play you like your little boy? You need to get on that vibe with them. If that's not the case, then it don't matter. Don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey man, we definitely appreciate you coming on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. This was great.
I appreciate being here. Hopefully this isn't the last time.
Well, no, you fired. You fired. No, you ain't coming back. No, damn, that's
all right, man. My bad, bro.
we got 2 minutes, but here's the way we're gonna do it. We're gonna let Khalil give his closing argument, whatever he want to say. We're gonna say our piece, and then we're gonna go ahead and end the show. Go ahead, Khalil. The floor is yours.
Okay, first I want to thank all energies that are in tune. I want to graciously thank you, you guys, the host. You've been very, very gracious to me, and I just want to say this one thing. You may not know everything that's going on as far as what's in your body. We can't just look in our body and say, okay, this is that. But we can bring them hell and make them work if you want to trust them to take care of your body. As long as you waking up with your eyes and your brain, your body's your responsibility and no one else's. So I would suggest start learning scientific teaching your children, because your vessel is your responsibility, and we already seeing if you don't want to be responsible for it, somebody else will. Like we used to say, the streets will raise your children if you don't want them. So
Yeah.
the medical field will fake heal your grandmother if you don't want to heal yourself. So
Appreciate it, my man.
no doubt, bro. I wish most of you on this call, and I mean most because not everybody has intentions for themselves, but most of those who do, I wish you much success. And yeah, we're gonna get through this, man. They're gonna have a problem going through this whole situation because it's a mess. It's a mess,
Yeah.
man.
We can't let you in
And
there.
my man Fu was right. With Fu, I've been with man Fu. I want to say this. You right, bro. Don't let them challenge you because you right. I'll be on it, man. I'll be listening. They be thinking you lying, but you ain't lying, bro. You dead on point.
Let everybody know how they can get in touch with you.
All right, Godbody at Godbody _3.0 on Instagram. That is my only social media platform. I am in the dark type of dude. And if you want to reach me, my phone number is 973-391-6212. I will answer if you call me. And yeah, we get to it, bro. Appreciate it.
I'll make sure I put that in the comments. Lady J, of course, we gentlemen on this show, so ladies first. So you can go ahead and do your.
Hi, I appreciate that. Listen, I want to say thank you so much, Khalil. I cannot tell you how empowering this show was tonight for me with the information that you provided. So thank you. I want to end it with a particular quote from his name is, I hope I say this right, Kofi Annan. He was once the former Secretary General of the UN, and I'm quoting him. He said that knowledge is power, information is liberating, education is the premise of progress in every society and in every family. Arm yourself with information, good information. Educate yourself. This is what we're doing. This is how we are approaching that particular type of idea. We're here doing this show, just trying to provide good information. That's all I want to say. Thank you guys so much for watching the show, everybody out there. Thanks.
Go ahead, young man.
Main one.
Yeah, gotta let the Crip go ahead and say his piece. All that blue he had on.
Khalil, man, hey, much love, man. I appreciate all the information, man. I'm gonna do my best to get away from that meat. I promise you. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna make it I'm put my mind to it, and I'm gonna do it. Good information, man. It's stuff you just can't deny, man. You just gotta do it. So and man, this was a great show. And that's it.
For everybody out there, this is the first of many. I humbly thank every single person that has jumped on. We appreciate your questions. We will definitely be back next week with with another special guest. I'll put the information out in the next couple of days. All that we ask is that you spread the word. If you got anything from this particular episode, tag somebody. You have his information to reach out to him. Go ahead and do that because it could save somebody's life. So we love and appreciate every single one of y'all. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. But next week, we coming with it. Oh my, all I can say is, oh my. Next week, the guest next week.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem. So basically, buckle up. You'll have all the information in the next couple days. We love and appreciate y'all. See y'all next week. And remember, unplug from this matrix. Please.
Unplug.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, everybody.